everyone. This is Mike.
And this is Josh.
Hey, and we are Real Dead, bringing you a review of a movie that came out really not long ago, last Friday, October the 6th. And this movie is getting a lot of buzz, Josh, as a comedy slash horror or horror slash comedy. So it is out on Amazon Prime right now.
Yep.
So we saw the preview for it Saturday. I saw on Rotten Tomatoes it had really high ratings. You know, I'm all about the ratings.
He's bought high ratings.
High ratings. I love high ratings. I don't ever get them myself, but I love high ratings. So we looked at the preview for it, and me and my wife are 52 and 51. 1987, I was a sophomore in high school. I graduated 89. My wife was a freshman. And we saw the preview for this movie. We said, man, this thing looks really good. Did you watch the preview, the trailer first, Josh, before you watched it?
No, I did not. I did not. I saw something for it on Facebook, and I think it played for like 20 seconds, and I clicked off of it. Not that I wasn't disinterested. I just didn't know what it was. And then I started seeing some buzz for it. And then you told me, hey, we're watching this movie, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, it's on Amazon Prime. I guess I'll check it out. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know if it was going to the theater or what. So yeah, I did watch it, and yeah, I was.
And production company was Blumhouse Television.
Oh yeah,
and Divide and Conquer. So when Josh saw that, he was like, "Oh my god, not
that
Halloween
might have been
Ends."
it." When I saw Blumhouse, I might have been turned off. Now listen, when I used to see Blumhouse, I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see it." When I see Blumhouse now, I'm like, this could go either way."
I may have a little more faith in them after seeing this movie, and not a lot, but a little.
Wait,
so this movie, in my opinion, was much better than The Exorcist, but in a different way.
Does it balance out between the two?
Yeah, we can. I don't know. I was out $25 going to see The Exorcist. So let me throw on real quick and give you the synopsis, and we'll go over this real quick. We don't want to spoil this. We're going to give you spoilers, but we don't want to spoil it too much, because it just came out, and I definitely think it's worth watching.
Yeah.
So it says 35 years after the shocking murder of 3 teens, the infamous Sweet 16 killer returns on Halloween night to claim a 4th victim. 17-year-old Jamie ignores her overprotective mom warning and comes face to face with a masked maniac and on the run for her life. Accidentally time travels back to 1987. The year of the original killings. Forced to navigate the unfamiliar and outrageous culture of the 1980s, Jamie teams up with her teen mom to take down the killer once and for all before she's stuck in the past forever. I do want to say, of course, this movie is going to have teens, drug, alcohol, drink, partying, smoking, bloody violence, sexual material. That was the 80s overall. Between 80s rock and 80 slashers, that was the time period. But it's a horror slash comedy. I do think it may have a little bit more comedy than horror.
Yeah.
But still a good movie. And the release date was streaming last Friday. So this thing is brand new and out. And let's roll up real quick. Now, these are also new scores. But bam, an 87 from the critics. Now, there's only 75 critic reviews.
Yeah.
But an 87 and an 81 from the audience. So that's come down a little bit because I thought it was around 85 on Saturday when we watched it.
Yeah.
But still over 250 people have watched it. And it's got decent reviews so far.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. It has, I mean, obviously, I think you can tell by we might get into soft spoilers. I'm not going to ruin all of it. We're not going to tell who the killer is, or we're not going to get into that. But she does, a daughter travels back in time to 1987. So there is time travel in this, it's
not a serious. Don't take this movie serious. It's a fun, campy type movie to have fun with.
Just like Stab 5. Stab 5 had time travel in it, and that was the worst one of the series. So I don't know what. But listen, so there is time travel in this. It's pretty funny. It reminds me kind of in that way of Hot Tub Time Machine, where it's kind of goofy in that way. I do like that she's a teenage girl from 2023 having to see what 1987 was like. And she's like, I'll just tell you an example. So as soon as she gets there, she walks up to the school to try to find her mom, because her mom would be a teenager at this time. and like the school mascot is a Native American painted like really stereotypical, just red skin, not like
yeah.
brown.
The name of the school I think was called the Red Devils, and they put an Indian up there, so it's right off the bat making fun of the difference in time period of what you saw in the 80s. Another thing that I thought was hilarious about this, Josh, was the amount of smoking going on. You and I talked about that a little bit because everybody was smoking cigarettes back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And
well, but I remember like if you watched like the original Ghostbusters movie, like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray are like smoking cigarettes through that whole movie.
Yeah.
It's just like people just
Christmas Vacation, same way Christmas Vacation. I mean, they're just smoking like freight trains.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like I remember several members of my family that don't smoke anymore, but they smoked back in the 80s. You know what I mean? They quit eventually, but they definitely smoked in the 80s. And it was just the way it was.
This is a fun movie. You kind of go back in time. They make references to Back to the Future. They make references in the movie to Michael Myers. They make references to the Scream franchise. It's just a fun movie. Now, they didn't have quite the big hair that I remember back in the day with the 80 rock band. But still the hair's big. She goes back in time. Her mom's a bitch. She finds out her mom's a bitch and wasn't nice and trim and proper like she's supposed to be. But what she's trying to do, just to a little bit of a spoiler, she's going back in time to try to change things so that people that she loves in the future don't die. I just put it that way.
Or try to stop it from her mom's friends from dying in the past.
From getting killed in the original.
And as she's changing things, it shows you in the future how that's altered.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I kind of like that a lot. I think this main character, this girl, she's really likable.
She's a great actress too.
Yeah, she's likable in my opinion. I like that she ends up meeting up with her dad and her mom in the past, and they're about the same age. I've wondered about that before. Like, if I would have met my dad, my mom, like when I was a teenager, I don't think we would have been friends at all.
Were they an asshole or were they pretty cool?
I don't know. My dad might have been a jerk. I have no idea, but I'm assuming my mom was nice. But
what's hilarious about this, we have to talk about this one. Say it's a little spoiler. But she's at this party, and they're all partying down. And hey, I was in those 80s. I remember those parties when your parents were gone. The whole school showed up at your house. And she's looking at this guy get out of the pool. And this guy is like, thinks he's hot. She's like, who is that? It's her dad. And that's the same thing that kind of happens when she meets her mom. Her mom's a bee. Yeah. And she's pounding her playing dodgeball, which is hilarious. But
I love that part where they show them play dodgeball and the girl's like, what is this? Because they don't play dodgeball anymore. We still play dodgeball in the 90s when
Anthony still plays dodgeball at school now.
Oh, they do?
Oh, yeah. It's called war or something, but it's the same thing as dodgeball. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they pound each other with it. But yeah, that girl in the movie is like, what is this? She didn't know what it was, but they were playing this in high school. I don't know if they still play in high school.
Well, besides the comedy, it does have some solid kills in it. And I think it does have a cool kind of like twist to it, in my opinion, at the end. It's just a lot of fun.
It becomes a whodunit. That's what me and my wife found out was as we were watching it and kind of got hooked on it. We were like, well, is it this person? Is it this person? Is this person? Because when you go back in the movie, they pretty much show a principal, a teacher, and a security guard. And those were the main people, the friends back in the day of her mother. So you're trying to figure out, there was a murder many years ago. And out of all of her friends, there was like 3 people murdered. And that's why it's called the Sweet 16 Killer. But he stabs them 16 times. That's why it's called Sweet 16. So this whole movie, you're trying to figure out who it is. There's some twists and turns in it. Next thing you know, there may be multiple killers. There may be 3 or 4 killers. You don't know until you get to the very end of it. And then it kind of comes all together. And then I love at the very end of the movie, it shows you all the effects of what happened in the past, how it affected now. And it's a pretty cool little end of the movie.
Yeah, and also there's a carnival ride in this. Gosh, what is it called? What's that carnival ride called?
Gravitron.
Gravitron. I was gonna say in real life it's called Gravitron, and it's in this. It's a sick ride for a carnival, in my opinion. But they turn it into spoiler again. But they turn it into a time machine, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. Gravitron, man. I think I rode a Gravitron. Probably the Gravitron is awesome. I rode that probably. I maybe not 10. I probably rode that about 20 years ago. So I was in my early 20s. And I was like, this is awesome. So there's a cool sequence in the Gravitron. And yeah, overall, I think it's a really good movie. It's fun. It's not to be taken too serious, but it's just a fun, good popcorn movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is one, if you're in your 40s and 50s and you remember the 80s, you're definitely going to watch it. I'm not saying people in the 30s won't, but you'll see some of the stuff in the patch and you're like, what? They did that back then? But yeah, that's how it was. So, Josh, what would you say on a scale of 1 to 10? What would you give this movie?
I'm going to give this, I had a lot of fun. I'll give it a 7.5, Mike.
Dude, that's exactly what I was going to give it. The audience score on here is an 81. I was going to say, hey, I'm a little more strict on it, but I'd say 7.5. You could probably get me to 8 on watching it the second time.
Yeah.
If I had a couple beers in me before I watched it, I may even give it an 8, 8.5. I don't know. But this is one for free to be on Prime and Amazon. I think it's definitely worth watching, especially around coming up with the Halloween and like a slasher type movie. I think it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, it is. Definitely.
All right, guys, y'all have a good one. Tell us what you think in the comments. Totally killer on Amazon Prime. Do you like it? Do you not? Remember, have fun with it. Bye, everyone.
Definitely. Bye, guys.